Okay, so here's an update of what's going on. We have the shelves now in place. Well, the shelving in place. We have our inverter mounted, and originally going to mount it down there, but then we realized, wow, we have like 9 inches of wasted room on top of that thing. So we put it up there. On the top we built another shelf, and now we have a shelf underneath it, which my UE Boom is sitting on. Speaker Bluetooth thing. And we have our charge controller right there, Morningstar charge controller. Like that, with the faceplate mounted on. I need to do all the wiring. And this right here, now you can say, yeah, that's really tight, no air circulation. So what we've done is we have over here, and this is where the fridge is going to go, we have this little thing which I'm going to actually have, it's hot, connected to the on. When the refrigerator turns on, that thing's going to automatically turn on, and exhaust out here like that. Sorry for the weird shadows and everything. And it got a little frayed, and we put some wood glue on it so it looks funny, because it's it has no lip, no edge to screw into, and that's why we made these little mounting tabs like that to stick in the corners. And of course the battery is under here, and that just lifts off like that. And that's our temperature sensor for which I just drilled a hole through there, and it slides through that little crack. You can see it poking out right there. And then here it is right here, which is going to be mounted to that for the battery remote temperature sensor, because they're outside the vehicle, thus different charge. We have our positive and negative. And let's get a look at the inside of these battery trays. And like that, I have a little rubber gasket right there, and that's just foam that actually came with the MagnaShine Magnum Power inverter that perfectly happened to fit in there with a little tweaking, and that will create an airtight and insulated lid, which I will then drill and screw in there, and that just fits in real tight. I'll just drill and have some self-tappers around the edge to keep that in there. Maybe I won't have anything. Anyway, fits so perfectly. Same with the front one. And that one has the remote temperature sensor here, which I have it routed through the wall right there. And we just took off that wall panel right there and routed it through the wall down into the battery tray. I can go and show that. And down here, and I don't know if anyone can see that, but that pop out right there. And then I drilled a hole in the wall upstairs in between there, and put a hose going down to just a regular old whatever hose to going down inside the wall, and then another one to keep it from cutting on the battery tray, and then drilled a hole out in the side of the battery tray. And like that, we have this nice step that my dear friend Kujina built, like that. And the lighting is really weird, and we plug that hole now right there with the board. And like that, we're going to put some plugs, these things right here, and right there, like that. Keep the insulation in the walls and not everywhere else. And that's another one over there for that one. And here's our stove that's going to be up there. We had custom made, I think in one of the previous videos I talked about that. It's going to be over there. And so now let's get to the water tank. And yeah, the deck is on, except for the last board over there. So that's pretty much that. And the shelves are, that's one of the shelf boards and some other things over there. So that's pretty almost ready. And this is the cross members, redwood. And so now I'll show the put this on my MagShift phone holder. I'll just put you right here, like that. And now you can see my water tank program gradually with this weird lighting. And, this, I forgot to take off my glasses. I have my fill, my air displacement for the fill. And then right here, because unfortunately they would not mount it flush to the bottom, but they have about an inch gap from the bottom of that to the bottom of the tank. It's going to leave, you know, an inch times 20 times 1 times 32 amount of water, which is about 3 gallons or 5 gallons or something like that. I can't remember. And so I had them put a flush drain in the bottom. So if I ever needed to drain it, that would be great. And then I just drilled a hole right here in my floor. Yay, drilling more holes in $50,000 vehicles. So that when I ever want to drain it, or if I want that last few gallons of water and I'm completely out, I just go outside and flick a ball valve. And now we're going to put on the walls, which is going to be a big challenge. And we have this piece right here with the notch out for the wheel well, which will go right there to hold the mass of 55 gallons of water, which is about 600 or 700, 300 pounds, something like that. A little notch out for this, where all the water is going to come out of, which you probably can't see from over there. And then I'm going to have a big faceplate right here and right there, and that will be in future videos, so stay tuned. And here's my electrical, which is still yet to be connected, and my solar coming down into everywhere else. I'll just bring the camera over here so you can see the solar coming out of the roof, which is about ready to go into the charge controller. And this is the faceplate I was just talking about. That's going to keep, that's about 1 inch incredibly thick plywood right there. And that's where all the water is going to be coming out for our drinking and showering and everything else purposes. All right. Oh, and this is the piece of wood I got. Oops, yeah, making marks on it. Is going to go right here. Let's put the camera back so you can see. Like that. Actually. Right there. And this is the propane hose, which will eventually go to the stove. And so I have this cut out so I can see the water level on the tank, because when the water level's there, I'll be able to see it. And that's all going to be up there. This is going to hold this all in place. And I have another one. The faceplate right here. That's going to hold that in place. And this is all going to be sealed and made a shower basin. Gradually in our next upcoming videos very soon. Okay, so now we have this wall on. We've secured it to the side of the vehicle. The tank will go behind it. See, there's the center of the tank right there, that hole in the floor. And this will act to secure the tank to the wall. It's got some serious business brackets and everything on there. And screwed and glued, and we drilled a few more holes in the brackets to, there's our wires in the way kind of right now, to get more security, and glued and screwed and glued and screwed again. Now we're going to put the tank right in that hole right there, and well, you'll see in a second. Okay, so there's a saw going in the background. This is what the progress is now. We have the sidewall up of the sidewalls of the tank and stove and everything. Now we got everything reinforced. I'll show you, this thing is going to go in there, just like, how's it going? Yeah, just like that. And because the water tank is in here, as you can see right here. Trying to get my lighting good. And so I have you can see how that's actually the tank. You can see the level of the water tank right there. And everything's battened in with PL Premium Construction adhesive all around there. It's just an angle iron with lots of screws in it into the floor and into the wall. And the same with this one. It's an aluminum angle iron with screws in it. And you got your filler. It's going to go in there like that. And then I'll show on the other side. It's going to go down in there. And these two are going to go down into those two like that with hose. And got the tank right here. And we fed so we fed this, that's going to the stove right there. That's a propane pipe. We fed that through the wall. Can't really see it. Up through there, drilled a hole directly underneath that, so it underneath this thing right over there, so it clears the thing from the back doors, which recedes into the wall there, and like that, and that will eventually go about right there for the stove. And beneath that, we have this gigantic piece of plywood right there with all types of supports, because this is like a 50-gallon water tank, and that's the I guess that's the weight of it, shipped 29 pounds or whatever. Anyway, and we got our electrical. Now we can just cut out this piece of wood right there, which is sitting on top of the deck, which I'll go over in a minute. This just sits down in there like that, and to cover up the water tank, there'll be utilities on top of it. And the deck is, let's get some light over here. Now we have the deck all in there. That's the sink, which will go right here. Anyway, we put some reinforcements up here. We put that reinforcement on there. And right there we put a reinforcement. And right there we put a reinforcement. So now when people get up on there, it's not going to sag whatsoever at all. These are just channel board. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway. Oh, and this is coming out. These are the little spacers there that fit in. I need to glue that one in. We pulled that one out so they could do reinforcements along there also. I don't know if you probably can't see much in the dark, but yeah, there we put a reinforcement on. This is a side door. The side doors are closed right now. Probably would have been a good idea to open them. And we have those little finger holes up there so you can lift off the deck thing. And of course the whole thing is taken off. And now this is sliding door channels. These are C-channel aluminum that are being glued into place. Let's go back off from them so you can see them. Like this, and shine some light here. So we just glued 2 C-channels side by side, small one on the bottom, big one on top, and you have 3 sets of sliding doors, one up here, one there, which is the top or the bottom is being glued, and the bottom and the top one from the bottom is getting glued. And we got our charge controller and our inverter, and like that, gradually things are coming along. So now we're working on the cabinets. It's late, so the lighting isn't very good, but we have this really cool LED light to help us. So we have sliding doors that are going to go in here. I don't know how the shadows and everything else are going to work on this, but we'll do the best we can. That one right there is done. That's the top sliding door, and that's the bottom sliding door. So that whole area right there will be one sliding door. And there'll be another sliding door, a set of sliding doors right on the top. There'll be a shelf right there. And the shelf is in right there, almost finished. And down here there'll be one sliding door. So 3 sets of sliding doors. 1, 2, 3. And I'll show you how we're making these sliding doors. Now what this is this is a finished one. It's a C-channel. And it's basically 2 C-channels, aluminum, we got from McMaster-Carr. And like that, we have, this is about a 3/8 inch deep or something like that. 1/4 inch wide too. And then on the top, well, I won't show you the top because that one's drying. We'll talk about that in a minute. So we'll use the top of this one. If we can look up in here. is we have about an inch. So if you can see here, let me try to find my measuring tape. Anyway, I can't find it. You can see here that that one is about an inch deep, and that one is about 3/8, or a quarter, whatever it is. So the bottom one, the bottom door, will slide up like this cardboard. So the bottom cabinet will slide up like that. Well, this is all bent up and everything, but you get the idea. It'll normally go back and forth, and then if you want to remove it, you slide it up, which will in turn remove it from its channel in the bottom enough to, otherwise it will slide back and forth, and then you lift it up, and that will be lifting it up deeper into the channel on top, and then it will be able to be removed like that. And so we make these out of simply two C-channels, a shallow one on the bottom, and then one that's twice as deep on the top. And how we do that is we put PL, premium construction adhesive, which is right there, lying on the ground, and we busted our thing right there. Anyway, funny stories always. And then we put that in between them, and then we put that underneath them, and then we clamp it all together like that with another piece of wood on top and the bottom overnight, and then we pry that off. And when we do that, all this stuff, I've already cleaned this up, and you can see it just squeezes out from right in there and right in there. And then we use mineral spirits, and what I do is I just use my dirty old fingers, and I put it right there inside there, and I put my finger all over it, and then I take here and I use one of these tools. Well, first I use one of these tools right here, and use the edge, which you can kind of see. There's still some slime on the edge, and I just take where it's squeezed out. Let's say it's squeezed out, and I just go like that and pull all that off, and then wipe it all over on a piece of cardboard. And then I use my finger, which is covered with mineral spirits, and smooth it all out and scrape it all off everywhere. And then I take my towel and then wipe off the residue of the mineral spirits, and that will clean all the rest of the glue and everything off that squeezed out the edge, and give you this nice shiny aluminum everything, and it'll still keep the glue, and the clamps are squishing that all down like that on top of the wood, so you don't dent or mess up the whatever. And this is actually redwood right there that I know, don't talk about it right now, but anyway, it's an educational video of how I'm converting the vehicle. And then there's going to be also trim right here, oops, right there, which is actually sitting right here. Those are going to be the trim underneath that and support underneath this shelf. So things are coming along, and here's our water filter system, which is going to go in our reverse osmosis, and that's the sink sitting there upside down, which I'll back up so you can get an idea of what's going on, which is going to go in top of there, and that bar right there is wedging that bottom rail into place because it wants to pop out a little bit. So we just want it to be flush right there like it is now. So that little thing is just jammed against the wall, wedging it into place as it dries. I'll probably remove that in a little while. Excuse me. And so here's our water tank. Our water tank is now squished inside of here. And there's our filler, which goes down into there, where we have wood and everything all over the place. And this is our Rixson heater system, which is going to go up on the wall and thus keep the water tank from freezing, as well as us from freezing, and give us hot air and water. And that whole water filter system will also go in here, So we have the tank, 50-gallon tank, and then we have, and this is all reinforced, and the sink will go right here very soon, and the stove is going to go in here, and that's going to be a pretty interesting procedure, so stay tuned for updates whenever we get around to it. And we've put some of these brackets, we love these little brackets right here to keep everything stable and solid, and anyway, it's looking good, I guess, like that. And we'd like to put a hanging cabinet right there, but I think that's going to be inside of the later box. And we'd also like to put one right here above, like little spice cabinet right here above the stove. And I guess that's it for today. You can see everything is kind of an explosion of everythingness. And I guess that's it. Still getting around to wiring the batteries and everything in. And yay. And here's the C channel. I'll come over here and try not to step on all the random tools laying everywhere. It comes in this tube when you get it from McMaster. Where is it? Yeah, anyway, so here's the C channel right here. Comes in 8-foot long sections, I think, or 4 feet long sections. So this is the 1-inch long one. That one's got a little bend on it. And here is the shorter one. So you can see the difference here, like that, a little bit. That one's sticking there, like that. And we just cut that to size and stick the two pieces together, you know, like that. And we put the glue in between here, like that, and then underneath, and then glue that into place, like that. All right. Oh, and another experience we had is they have a new product. This stuff here. I usually use this stuff. And when I went to the Home Depot place, I found this stuff 8 times stronger. So this is really gooey. And so anyway, now this stuff right here is brown. It's more brown. It's yucky and brown. And extremely thick to the point where it broke my applicator gun. Right there. It just pulled that sucker right apart. It just pushed itself right apart. I've never seen that before. I mean, it is an old applicator gun, but anyway, it just pulled the rivets right out of it, like that. It's been around for a while. And that's the other one I have. That's a brand new one. That's what I used on this one. But this stuff is extremely thick and difficult to work with, and I think it does set up a little quicker. That's it. That's gray, and this one is brown. Yucky gooey. And I don't know how that stuff is going to work, but we got a few of these just to check it out. And it says it sets up just as fast. Oh, that's the wrong language, I think. Oh, as well, different languages. And anyway, and that one. Oh, my glove is in the way because we had to cut the top off to apply it. And so it says waterproof. Yeah, so we just cut the roof off. See, there's the lid. For that one, because it's too thick. It's just really thick stuff. Whereas I think we're just going to stick with this one. I don't know. Anyway, yay, going to sleep. There's my tape measure. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of stuff here. Update on cabinetry. We got our hanging cabinet in over there, which will have doors on it eventually. Excuse the wires hanging in your face. And we got our redwood trim piece right there. We got our sliding door bottoms and tops. We got our drawer right here, which is going to come in and out like that. And this doesn't have any type of locking mechanism, so we just got this board right now to put in there, so that way it won't fall back on you when you want it to be out here. And what this is going to be for is going to be for our blender is going to sit in there. So when you're at the sink, kitchen sink, which is lying on the deck right now, right here, and our stove, which is lying on the floor over there, with our nice custom welded tray that we have for it, which will go in that hole right there on top of our heating and water filtration system and all this type of stuff. And that's where our water filter is going to be mounted. You can just sit here and blend, and there's your back of where electrical outlets and USB ports are going to go, right there, like that. And then we have our hanging cabinet right there, which will have doors on it eventually, which will flip upwards. And we have our sliding door channels in right here. That is a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch on the bottom, I think, or something like that. And that is 1 inch on the top deep, so you can slide the doors up into it and then drop them down into place. And those are actually out there. Let's see if we can see them. Laying out there drying. And like that. We have this nice purple wood, which is going to be our sink, is going to sit in there, right there. We have another cabinet, hanging cabinet up here, like that. And this is the electrical wire that's going to go in there for the light eventually. It's going to be right down there, which we'll see very soon. And like that, we have this really nice trim piece, which is cherry wood, which I've cut that bevel off right here for a reason that you'll see very soon. That's part of the stove situation. And then down here we're going to put in a floor very soon, tonight maybe. And so this is our cabinetry right there. And the inside is really nice. I'll try to get a good view of the inside. We have it all supported like that on the inside. So that it's very strong. Same way here with this one. So that's all very strong. You can see there's a small seam. Can't get everything perfect, don't have time. Like that. I'll go show you the cabinet doors real quick. This is this gorgeous wood right here, which will be our sink top. And all types of stuff. And I love my drawer, first drawer ever made. Nice ball bearing hinges. And here is the sliding doors out here drying in the sun, or the shade somewhat. Little finger holes. And this is our experiment. Pretty soon we're going to have our floor. This is a piece of our floor from earlier that we chopped out. And this is my experiment to make sure that material on the floor of the Sprinter van will, this epoxy, West Systems epoxy, will stick. So I have this drying, and I'm going to hammer off this piece later tonight when it starts completely drying. And I'll show you in a minute what I used on here to make it so shiny. You can kind of see that shine in the sun. And It's just one coat. And then we're going to see if that sticks to this floor stuff that Sprinter uses, that Mercedes uses. This is like vulcanized, insanely hard, harder than steel. Freaking, you can still drill through it. We're going to bang this off, and if the wood is left on the thing and it breaks the wood, or if it breaks off the epoxy and pulls off the paint, then we'll know which one's stronger. If this sticks to the paint, or if it sticks to the epoxy, we'll see how that break test is. And we'll do the same thing with this metal piece right here. Piece of angle iron is what it is from our deck. Well, let's look over at the deck real quick. We got reinforcements right here on the side. We got reinforcements down here. If you look at our earlier videos, we put that piece down here, and that piece up there, and this piece across the top right there on for reinforcement, because they're just angle iron. Idea didn't work so well because the sprinters are so wide, and it's all still removable in that piece back there. Like that, and we have our water tank in. Started electrical wiring, as you can see everywhere there's wires, and like that. And this is the stuff we're going to use for our floor, so we can have a shower right in there. All those tools are. This stuff, this is an old one. It's all messed up. It's old, but it pretty much never goes out of style. Never gets bad. Okay, and this was a mess up. We're in the process of changing that up. But yeah, that's where our water fill is going to go eventually for our water tank. It's our meter right there, water tank. You can actually see it. And so our fridge is going to go in there, which is now keeping our munchies good. We got our electrical all wired up and done, finished, grounded to one of those, which is very close to where our batteries are grounded, just a few inches away. Inverter, everything's all wired up, but everything's in the off position for now. Okay, so this is the back. I'm sitting where the shower is going to be here. And so one thing we had to do was this thing right here, for right here, was actually too tall. This washer here, the spacer thing that they put in here was too tall. So as you can see, I grinded it down, and now it fits in there. And what happened is this was up, even though they countersunk it. It was actually up right here. Sorry, I forgot took a video before I did that. But if you look, these are up, in mine at least. And so I grinded that out, so now it sits down in there, like that. And now I've also used my different tools and my grinders and stuff to to scuff that up, because now we're going to put this West Systems epoxy stuff, and we have to use this stuff right here because this G-Flex, because it doesn't the regular West Systems stuff, which is over there, that 105 and 205, doesn't stick to steel. So this stuff does. So we're going to put that in that little place right there. We scuffed it all up so that it tacks into it. And this we're going to put this trim piece right here, so that and glue that in, so that becomes a nice watertight seal right there as well. So, and also it doesn't look like that thing. It's a nice piece of cherry wood there. And we had a notch out the bottom so that it would sit over that lip right there. Okay, pretty soon we'll be doing this, putting those pieces there as a shower boards in here. Okay, so we did our test. This is a piece of our floor. As you can see, it almost passed the crack test. Put that on here like that, and bust it off with the sledgehammer, and it's separated right there. So that means it didn't really stick to the floor stuff. That's where we put this piece right here with the West Systems, and it didn't really stick. So that stuff doesn't stick to the West Systems epoxy stuff. So that means we have to play games with this like we just did and sand off that stuff so it tacks into the wood. That's what we did, and now everything's all dusty, and we're going to vacuum it and paint it. Alright, like that. Okay, so now we have sanded it really well, and my beautiful wife is vacuuming it all the stuff like that. And we get all the stuff out, and there's our stuff we're gonna seal it with. Okay, so now we've put these on. We've West Systems the first coat here. We put a little bit too thick coat, and that's why there's these bubbles, you see, so we're gonna have to sand that off. We want to do a few coats. Now this is like rock hard, and it looks really good and shiny. It's not wet at all, it's just shiny. And you can see we kind of went a little crazy with the sanding there on the other side. That's okay. And like that. And so this piece right here, these are supported in the back by brackets like that, and also over here by brackets like that. And we had to drill out, that's maple wood. You have to drill that out, you can't just screw right into it. That ain't going nowhere now. We'll probably put some brackets right around here on the top as well, and possibly something right there. So, see if we can get a good angle on that. And we just put some filler on that stuff, right on that thing right there. And so now what we're doing is, this one right here we don't want to put brackets on because it's going to be ugly. So it's just sitting on there, and we're going to epoxy up the edges right there a little better later. And the edges right here, and we have to fill in that hole right there. We didn't cut it perfectly. And so what we're doing is we've dropped our spare tire, and you crawl down under here with me. Down under here we've drilled, and we should have done this before we started this project, but that would have been difficult because then we couldn't epoxy underneath it and in between it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drill up into it, and we're going to put these bolts right here. And this is actually pieces of the floor that we kept just specifically for reasons like this. Is actually pieces of the Sprinter floor as and we're going to use these as washers. See, that's that undercoating stuff right there, and we're going to goo up that like a crazy. And so we dropped our thing down, and now that it's epoxied down to the floor, we're going to drill up into it, and then put that in and bolt it down so that it will so that this piece right here will be like basically impenetrably stiff. And then we have a nice little shower in there, and we're going to put some drain holes there later. Okay, so now we are looking up. We're looking up into the bottom of the vehicle here. You can see the holes. I've pre-epoxied them, or pre-Lexelled them with this stuff, this Lexell stuff. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway. And we're going to put some Lexell on that, which is great. It's like a silicone kind of impenetrable stuff. And now we're gonna put our bolts in there like this. We've pre-drilled these holes, so hopefully we don't split the wood into pieces. Okay, right, Christian and I, we don't split the woods into pieces. We love you. Feels good to me. And we have this one is drilled on the bevel of the ridge there. So I don't know if you can see this right there. This is a piece of the floor, two pieces of the floor that are also beveled. So we're going to use that as our nice little washer. And we're going to fit that bevel piece into this bevel piece. And hope for the best. Yeah, angle drills. This one's a wrist breaker, so we be careful that it doesn't break our wrists. I'm gonna do like that as a brace. Those are in a very awkward angle to make sure that this bevel lines up with that bevel without getting the stuff on our fingers, because it's very difficult to get off. Okay, now we have to hold this without crushing our fingers. I think it's time for our gloves, actually. Give me a second here to put on our gloves. And of course, the powder gloves are easier to put on with sweaty hands, but the wife didn't know that, so she just bought whatever was the cheapest thing on Amazon. And if you want to support us, whenever you go on Amazon, go smile.amazon and then go to Galactify as a nonprofit, and we'll get a donation from Amazon every time you buy anything when you go to smile.amazon. Okay, here we go. Now let's line that thing up with my gloves on. There we go. Twisting. Don't know if there's anything we can do about it now. Okay, that looks good to me. It's tense, it's sucking up the steel, bending the steel into the wood up there. That means it's teething in very well. So we're not going to mess with it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to apply this goo on there. So there's absolutely no chance of water or salt or whatever getting up inside of here. I think we're actually going to hammer that up a bit. Yeah, I think we're going to hammer that up a bit. Hold on a second. Okay, get ready and turn down the volume, guys. Ooh. Oh, how are we going to get in there? Okay, let's do this backwards. Alright, you can turn back up the volume if you want. Get our Lexel and just put gobs of this stuff up here like that. Just gob the heck out of it. Gobby goo. So we don't have any type of salt or water or any other things that should stay out of the vehicle and away from our steel of our vehicle to keep it safe. And now, once we double up the epoxy with a thickener on the inside of the vehicle, this should be no problem. We hope. Oh yeah, that looks really good. Looks impenetrable to me. All right, great. Okay, so update, we have the refrigerator going in now. Here's the refrigerator. It's working. Yeah, we got the electrical system all functioning and everything like that. Cabinet doors on, and we also have this. Oh, we have lights also. Yeah, lights work. So we can actually see where we're going with this sliding door. Pooja, you want to be in the video?
No.
No. Well, he doesn't want to be in there if you're not putting him in the video. We got our electrical plugs right there, cigarette lighter and USB ports. Like that. And then these also have USB ports on them. And this wooden thing is to put in the back so that doesn't close while we're driving. And sliding doors like that. That's that C-channel stuff that we used on the top and on the bottom. Like that, just glued in with this stuff. Not that stuff. That's just some old stuff we have. That stuff. And now we have the fridge here, which is going to go in this hole. After I made this video, I changed the configuration of the fridge and inverter so they will both have more ventilation. So, subscribe and watch the following videos I post to learn more. Dun, 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 dun. And we put this fan on it, which is going to be where the motor is, which heats up. So we have a little switch over here, and that, and this is there to stop it from going forward. And we have little pads for that will jam on there. And on either side we have pads like that to keep it from moving. And that one right there is gluing together. That's actually packing material from our side window, which is going to go in that hole right there. And on either side, so it won't move around. And underneath is the battery right there. And this handle didn't fit, so we took that off and just put a piece of angle iron, which goes up against that so it doesn't beat that thing, the wood to heck. And that also acts as a spacer so that this can get air circulation. And this is the handle that comes on it right there. And so let's put that in. Oh, here's the handle right there. I tried to trim it down, which was kind of a failure. That didn't work with all types of ideas. So put on my makeshift camera thing. See if we can get it to focus in there in that darkness, okay? And that just lifts in. Put the cord out of the way, so I put it on top of the cord. And that just lifts in like that. You won't be pulling this thing in and out very often, only for like cleaning purposes. So that fits in like that. And this lid comes off, so that works. And then we have sliding doors that go in here also, which are off as we fix this up. And these things go in here. That one goes on the other side, the back. These go on the front, like that. And that keeps it from moving while we move. And if it heats up too much, we just put the fan on. And that's actually blowing right onto the motor, or onto the heater part, so that will blow cold air onto it, which will cool it off really fast. Keep it cool. Alright. it's not too loud. Oh, and then we also have the other stuff. Anyway, tons of cool stuff. The fan is working up here. You can hear it. Very quiet. It has these cool controls. 10 speeds. And you can leave that on or open in the in the rain, so nothing goes in there. And we have the trim pieces going in there like that to cover the holes in the gap in the walls, so you don't see the insulation hanging out. And alright. Oh, the back door of the deck is off. Oh, and we have the floor in. Also, this is all, and there'll be doors right in there like that, so that hole won't be there. Still working on the sink and the plumbing and all that. This piece of trim, this is all epoxied in, so we can shower in here. And there you can hear the motor going on. West Systems epoxy and G-Flex also right here in the corners where the darker stuff is, so it doesn't crack. And also we filled that rivet thing with G-Flex stuff and West Systems, so like that. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that one, if anything, because we're running out of time. We only have 10 days left. And that's the water tank right there, the side, so you can see the level. And we have a little bit of the water system in. We have the water filter system, the reverse osmosis system, and the pressure tank, so it doesn't, the pump doesn't cycle all the time. There's the pump, and like that. We ran this conduit right here and heated it up really well and bent that right turn into there, and like that, and then it just goes through there with a rubber hose on it so it doesn't rub on anything out there, and like that. And there's the remote thing. We just snipped the it was like 30 feet or meters or whatever, so we just snipped it and rejoined it so we can just plug it in right there, and that's what it looks like on the face. We still need to turn that thing on and figure that out. And there's all the fuses, everything's labeled and such, so we know where everything goes, and those breakers. Alright.